Hey, good afternoon, YouTube family. It's another day in paradise. I am currently in the kitchen cooking spaghetti and meatballs, but I am not going to show you all my kitchen and my chef skills today because the kitchen is a mess. Everything in the kitchen is under construction because we're remodeling the kitchen. Um, and I'm trying to get the glare out of my glasses, y'all. That's why I'm holding my head in a funny way because if not, my glasses will glare at y'all. But the reason why I wanted to live is because I was watching an interview Saturday with Carlos King, where he interviewed Rada from Love and Hip Hop Miami. And as you all know, Rada was formerly engaged to comedian Michael Blackson. They are no longer engaged for all intents and purposes. Rada said that she was healing, but I wanted to share this interview with you all because I got a lot out of the interview. Rada was explaining how she grew up in a very strict household and she was not allowed to venture out in her young adult years. And so she met Michael later in life, which explains why she was so fascinated and excited by his lifestyle. And I know recently in the news media, Michael has made some comments about some things that were going on intimately with him and Rada. And she was explaining how he was exciting because she had never experienced his lifestyle before. And so Rada, I can relate to Rada. Um, I went through a similar situation when I had my daughter, which my daughter is 13 now. But at the time, I was in an exclusive relationship with her father. And then when I was about 8 months pregnant, he told me that he had another child, that he had got another woman pregnant, and it was true. My daughter and her sister are approximately 1 week apart. So her father did have two women pregnant at the same time. I'm not knocking my daughter's father. I'm just letting you all know that I have experienced some of the disappointments that Rada is going to be talking to you all about, is going to be describing in this video. I have been there and done that, and then essentially, I decided to stay with my daughter's father, and my reasoning, for one, is that I wanted a family. So we did stay together for several years after this incident occurred, but we did eventually end up splitting up. So I can relate to a lot of what Rada is talking about, and I wanted to share this with you all because a lot of times we judge people not knowing their story and not knowing what the situation is. I think looking just from the outside looking in, both women, Rada and the other lady as well, were victims of Michael's deception and lies. So Rada is a victim in all of this, and the two innocent children. Michael was not being honest. So we have to put the blame where blame lies. And I think it goes back to, I'm trying not to lose the interview, but I think it goes back to men and women, there being a double standard with men and women nowadays. In general, there's a double standard in the workplace. There's a double standard when it, right, yes. I'm gonna uh I'm gonna rewind the video too because I want you all to see it. I'm sorry. I want you all to see the video from beginning to the end. So I'm rewinding it now, and I'm just gonna let it play. But this is an interview that Rada did with Carlos King. I'm gonna let you all watch it. I'm gonna be in the kitchen cooking, and then I'm gonna come back and discuss it more. So you all enjoy, okay? Things like that happen when you have an open relationship. Somebody else, you might have a baby. But I'm thinking, well, I didn't give him permission to stick his in there raw. I never agreed to that. I never agreed to him going out of the scope of what our boundaries were. I never knew all of this. After the proposal, I thought we had an understanding, but everything that's happening today and in between the proposal and today, I don't know about. He decided to go out on his own terms, and I trusted him because he's my man. He's my fiance. You're supposed to trust. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Hey Raindrops, on today's episode of Reality with the King, we have a real life hot topic, okay? This woman is all over the news, the blogs, and she has decided to exclusively sit down with me to tell her story for the very first time. I'm so grateful and thankful she said yes. Give it up for the beautiful Rada.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for saying yes. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. Our mutual friend, Claudia Jordan. Hey, Claudia.
Hey, Claudia.
She and I spoke, and she was like, whenever you need her, let me know. And I'm like, I actually want her now. Oh. So shout out to Claudia Jordan for making this happen. But I definitely appreciate you with your busy schedule, being a mom, an entrepreneur, real estate mogul, all of these things. And starring on the new season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. You are a busy woman.
Yeah, pretty busy.
Yeah. So I don't take this for granted. Look, you have been in the news for a lot of things happening with, I don't know, we should say current fiance, ex-fiance. Complicated situation.
Complicated fiance situation.
All right, so we will check the "is complicated" box. Okay, Facebook fans, we will do that. But before we get to that, I want to get to know you.
Sure.
But first thing first, I just want to ask you, how are you doing?
As well as I can be. Taking it day by day. I am just very lucky to have a lot of great friends around me, my family, and, with whatever the situation is, Michael's still a great father to my son, so I'm blessed to still have that.
Before you and Michael Blackson was a thing, where are you from? Who was Rada before all of the lights, camera, and action?
I know a lot of people wasn't sure where I came from. They're like, all of a sudden I'm there.
Yeah.
And, I did a lot of things before Michael Blackson. I was a corporate person and I was married previously for a good amount of time, 17 years. I am a relationship person. Didn't really get to explore life the way I was. Very strict, never really dated. Married my second boyfriend at a very, very young age.
How old were you?
Gosh, I'm going to give my age away.
Okay.
So you were early 20s.
That's okay. Early 20s. We received that. So you married your second boyfriend in your early 20s.
In my early 20s. We had kids a year after. And, for good reasons, I don't like to talk about my children that I've had with him, only because he is a little difficult when it comes to that.
Okay.
And, I respect his wishes. So because our relationship currently is so public, I can't really mention my kids.
Okay.
And so, when I left my marriage, I also left a lot of other things, like my corporate job. I had a little tiny cafe business, like mini restaurant business, that I also left behind. And then I ventured into cannabis.
And that's when, all the partying started happening. I started drinking. Never drank before.
How old were you when you started drinking?
Oh gosh, in my 30s.
So you came from like a really strict upbringing. Yeah. What is your nationality? Cambodian. So in the Cambodian culture, like, is it typical for the parents to be like really strict and okay?
Asians, Southeast Asians, period.
Southeast Asians, period. Okay.
They're just very, very strict. You can't date. You can't talk to boys. You better get straight A's. But I was, not good when it came to school because I had ADHD. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna admit that I do have ADHD, mm-hmm. but I didn't get diagnosed until later.
Okay, so you diagnosed ADHD. Well, a lot of people who say they haven't been. So kudos for you for going to that step.
Yeah, and so I met a lot of people while I was in the cannabis industry, and that's how I met a good friend of mine, Lil John, who introduced me to Michael. And I was in the party scene all the time. I was in Vegas all the time. I was in Miami all the time. Me and my girls are just out there promoting and, just living the life. We were like always at concerts because that's what the industry's about, and I always told myself, because just being around the industry and knowing how it is and how people move, I always told myself I would never date anybody in the entertainment industry or an athlete. And look what never brought me.
Yeah. So when you met Michael, he was introduced to you through Little John. Mm-hmm. Was it through Little John telling you this guy likes you, or he's a good guy, you should get to know him? How did that introduction go about?
It was pretty much, I'm having a show. Come and see the show with me. Have some friends there, and Michael just happened to be there. And it's just like one of those things where, hey, Mike, this is Rada, Mike, type of thing. But it was nothing like that. And I wasn't looking for anything. I just got divorced. I mean, I've been single for 2 years. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Yeah. Not at all.
Were you attracted to Michael upon meeting him?
I'm not one who just looks at somebody and is like, oh, he's so hot or whatever, even if the man is drop dead gorgeous. But when I do speak to somebody, that's when the attraction begins. And with Michael, it was just so different because I really didn't know who he was. And if you know me well, all the friends that are always around me, they get it because I never recognize people. I don't know who anybody is. Like, I'm just not that type of person. But when we were talking, he was just so funny. He would make me laugh. And the things he said, it was stupid, but it was so funny to me. And I haven't had a man make me laugh like that in a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And we just clicked. And you
guys just started dating. Did it get hot and heavy really fast?
No, we were speaking for a good 3 or 6 months via text, I think it was like the 3rd month I went to go visit him in LA, and I was just wondering, why are people asking you for photos? I really didn't know who he was, and then I Googled him, and I was like, oh, he's a comedian.
Did he not tell you, I'm a comedian, I'm famous?
He told me that he's a comedian, but I was like, I wasn't really sure, what kind of comedian he was.
Right. Like what level? Is it Chris Rock, Kevin Hart? Yeah. So you didn't know that he was somebody that kind of had a household name until y'all started hanging out. They're asking for photos. How soon in you guys, in the talking, dating stage, did things become exclusive?
Oh, it took a while. I mean, I couldn't take him seriously in the beginning for a long, long time. And when he asked to hang out a little bit more often, at first we were doing once a month. I would fly out there myself, go see him. I would take him out to nice dinners, only because he doesn't believe in eating good food. He eats to live, not live to eat type thing,
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want fried chicken every day. So I was like, let me take you out. Let me show you what good food is, So I did. I took him to like Nobu. I took him to Catch. And
would you pay?
I do. I pay.
And he will let you?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's African. He's cheap.
Rada, you crazy girl. You're funny too.
Sometimes.
Okay, so you will take out to like Nobu, Catch, the 5-star restaurants. Yeah. Flip the bill, and he will like enjoy the delicatessen.
Yeah, he does enjoy it, but he's like, okay, I'm eating it now, but I'm gonna an hour later. So what's the point? I'm like, just savor the moment in your mouth, just like you do when you do other curricular activities.
We'll get to that later. Okay. So when you're taking him out. Do you remember how long you two dated? Like, was it more than a year before y'all became exclusive?
Yeah, it was a little over a year. And I guess the point where I thought he was serious was when, he was starting to ask me questions. Like, oh, who are you going to dinner with? Or who are you out with? And I was like, wait a minute, why are you asking me those questions? I don't ask you those questions. We're not in a relationship. And then he's like, I don't care, I'll try. And then I think it was like in Miami when things started to get more serious because he was like, you can answer my phone. Oh. And I was like, okay. And it was never like spoken, but we became exclusive without any rules or anything. And that's when, I guess I was perceived as the person who was okay with it being a one-sided open relationship because it was unspoken during that time. And I was okay with it because I was like, well, I don't know where this is going because, he has this certain lifestyle and that's not really my lifestyle, but I'm going with it because it's fun at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. But things changed when he got down on not one knee, both knees to ask for my hand in marriage. And that was a shock to me because I was like, oh, wow, he's really serious. And that's when I knew, okay, this is getting serious. And that's when the boundaries started to come into play.
So before he got on both bended knees, he was open about being in an open situation. You guys were dating. He was honest with you about the fact that he obviously had multiple women that he was seeing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was not really spoken out loud, mm-hmm. but it was, hints here and there, like, oh, this girl's going to be there. I'm like, okay, whatever, because I wasn't sure where it was going anyway. And I thought it was just for a good time because in the beginning, we both established that we didn't want a relationship. He just got out of a serious relationship. I just got out of a marriage of 17 years. So we both were okay with it. It's just having a good time. And like I said, once he got down on both knees, that's when it just totally shocked me. And I was like, oh, he's serious,
New Total Eye Lift. Clarins All-in-One Eye Care with Harungana, as effective as retinol for a 30-second eye lift, smoother wrinkles, and reduced dark circles and puffiness. New Total Eye Lift. Naturally powerful retinol performance. Clarins.
Got hauling or towing to do? Then come to Declaration of Deals at Kim's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Right now, drive away in a new Ram 2500 or 3500 for 0% financing for 36 months. Plus, no payments for 90 days and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And that ain't no bull.
This Mother's Day, celebrate all the amazing moms in your life. Treat them to special gourmet gifts and our heat and serve meals from Harry and David.
If you have a crack like this, well, you have a problem. Today I'm learning how a cracked wall might mean your foundation is sinking.
It always points towards the area where it's sinking. For example, this corner here, we're down almost a full inch of drop.
Right, so that's going down and that's causing the crack.
Correct. And then this door, they don't even use that door anymore. And not open.
Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
you know.
Is it true that you two had this understanding of inviting women into your bedroom?
Yes. In the beginning, well, even after he had proposed to me, I was okay with it here and there because.
Did y'all do it before the proposal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was being with Michael your first time experiencing girl on girl action?
Yes.
Okay, so he introduced that lifestyle to you first.
He did.
Okay.
The funny thing is, before I had divorced my ex-husband, I asked him for an open relationship.
You asked your ex-husband for one?
Yeah. I asked him if he wanted to introduce somebody to the bedroom, and he said no.
Another woman?
And yeah.
Okay.
And
what made you ask that?
Well, I felt like our sex life was just so vanilla. And I mean, you've been with one person for 17 years, let's spice it up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he said no. And after that, he cheated on me with somebody from another country. And so I was like, okay, you like shot me down, but then you went and did this. Really? Well, we were supposed to work on our marriage. And I honestly didn't want to let my marriage go. I was really sad that it happened. But there were a lot of things that were more than just the cheating, you know?
Yeah. So when Michael introduced this lifestyle to you, at least in the back of your mind, you always thought about it.
Yeah.
So you were like, all right, let me just fulfill this fantasy.
Exactly.
And you enjoyed it. And then when you guys got engaged officially, you did mention, okay, let's set some boundaries. What did those boundaries look like for you that you want to set now that you were this man's fiance?
Well, first of all, always protect yourself. And secondly, there can't be any attachments if you're continuously seeing one person. That's like another relationship. So I'm not down with polygamy. I'm not down with being with a man who has 2-3 women at the same time. Even if, you know, they're not considered his girlfriend, but if you have a relationship continuously with this one person, that's a relationship. I don't care what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so I just wasn't down with that. And I made that pretty clear. And that's why we said, okay, well, once a month, right?
That was your rule.
That was my rule.
Okay. And in your definition of that, it's one different woman per month.
Yes.
Nobody can have seconds.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he was cool with that.
Did the side chick per month, was it the rule that you have to be present?
No.
Okay.
No. As long as the communication is open and we're being transparent with one another, I'm okay with it. Like if you are not hiding anything from me, then to me, you're being pretty much transparent and you're following the rules. But if there are some facts that are hidden for whatever reasons, there's a reason for it. So I'm not cool with that.
Were you allowed to have one side chick a month just for you?
He says he doesn't care if I do, but I feel like when we almost got into that situation,
I'm gonna pause it right there for a second because here's what I wanted to discuss. I wanted to discuss where she was talking about, and good afternoon to the people who joined us. I wanted to discuss where she was talking about she was allowing him to have other women. Okay, first of all, it wasn't a threesome. It's a threesome when another woman is in your bedroom. It's not a threesome when on the weekend he's seeing other women. That's called cheating. Mind you, she told us she was allowing him to cheat. Now my thing is, when you decide to give someone permission to bring another woman in your bedroom and you guys are participating in a threesome, you opened up Pandora's box. My question for her that she didn't answer, well, I guess he was trying to get that out of her, is um where's the off switch? Like, if you're doing all of these things and you're having threesomes and you're allowing him to cheat once a month, how can you turn that off? Now it's on. I've given you permission. I've opened up Pandora's box. Where's the off switch? I feel like that's a slippery slope in a relationship when you give a person permission to cheat, and then when they get someone pregnant, you say, "Oh no, that's not what I wanted." Um, it's kind of hypocritical because you have allowed them to do these things. I don't know how she is no longer okay with it just because he had the baby, because it was clearly something that you were allowing him to do. But that was my take on it. I just wanted to share that with you all, but I'm gonna keep letting it play.
Cut her off, like, through as his friend.
Is it because he wasn't?
I don't know. I don't know what that situation was. It was one of his friends that I really liked, and she came around, and we became very close. And I don't know what happened till this day. He just cut her off, didn't want her coming around.
Did y'all three have dealings
No,
with each other?
not with each other, but her and I.
But he was cool with that.
I thought he was until he wasn't. I never got an explanation. So I haven't talked to her. She moved to another country. He just didn't want her around anymore after that. And he was really at the fact that she was over one time when he was out working. I don't know. I can never explain that.
Do you want me to explain it for you?
Sure.
I got some insight, girl. I know men and Africans. Nothing.
But she doesn't have a D, so
No,
what's the problem?
the thing is this, and we'll get more into this, but I'll address this particular one.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is the fact that when it comes to a man,
Mm-hmm.
okay, men have this rule like our parents did growing up.
Okay.
Do as I say, not as I do. Right?
Right.
So in his mind, it's okay that he's a man to go out there and do his thing. But the thing with you, you're his wife in his eyes, right? You're his prized possession. You're the apple to his everything.
I would like to think that.
But I know, but we'll get to that later. Listen, men are weird.
Yeah.
We are. And listen, I'm a gay man. I'm a man. We are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I always tell my girls, the thing is this: when it comes to a man who sees you as the one, in his mind, he made up a rationalized reason as to why he's able to dibble and dabble in every person or every woman that he wants to. But when it comes to you, the idea, whether it's a man or a woman, the idea of you having additional feelings for anyone, oh, he can't handle that because he has to be the main focus. So you did nothing wrong. You were part of this bargain. You played your role. The moment he knew that this woman was over your house and he wasn't aware of it and he found out about it, it was the jealousy came from, no, this bitch is taking my spot. You like her? Like, no. So he was afraid that this woman was going to replace him.
Oh.
Because he wasn't in the middle of controlling both parties. Okay. And oftentimes when a man is with his wife, wifey, fiance, or exclusive girlfriend, and he does invite another woman into the boudoir, it's a control thing for him. I'm controlling both of you guys.
Okay.
So for you to go independently outside of him to do something else, he lost control of the situation, and she had to move out the country, baby. Because he said, you gotta go. You gotta go. And that's why, listen, and listen, I'm gonna say this, allegedly, I was gonna be surprised if he gave her some money and moved her out and said, don't know. You know, wait, is he too cheap? Look, all right. Yeah, so that's what happened. That's what happened. I want to get into the fact that, you know, look, I'm very curious about this because I'm sure you've heard this before too, that when you invite another woman into your bedroom, you're inviting the permission for the man to cheat. Hindsight is 2020. As we get into what's going on currently, would you say that that's true?
You know, I would say that it can be true. But in this situation, it's a lot way far different than that. You know, if I knew that just opening up a relationship like this just gives him the permission to do more and more, because that's what it seems like, you give an inch and you take a mile type thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't deal with it. But, you know, with me never exploring life, and this is my first time just doing something different, and I have a very open mind. I'm willing to try anything else until I don't like it, you know, and I won't do it again. But then also, you know, I believe when you select a man to be with, he is who he is. You're not going to go into a relationship trying to change anybody.
Correct.
But if they want to change and evolve themselves, amazing. I went into this relation specifically because I felt like this was such a true connection for me, because I didn't have a lot of the things that I craved in my last relationship. We never had fun. We never laughed. We never got along like we were the best of friends. And that's what I had with Michael, you know, and I was willing to meet him halfway because I valued that more, that friendship side. You know, I never really had that connection. Even with the men that I've dated in between, I've never met someone with that connection. And, you know, the businessmen, they're great, but they're boring.
Yeah.
I needed some excitement in my life. I mean, I've had a boring life for however many years. Yeah, serving my role as a wife, as a HR consultant, as a mother, a taxi driver, a tutor, a chef, you know. So I needed some excitement after that.
Yeah, and listen, I think in your defense too, Rada, you got married young. You married your second boyfriend. Y'all were married for 17 years. You wanted to add some spice to that marriage. You even volunteered, like, do you want to bring a third party and a woman? He said no. Ended up cheating on you with another woman anyway. You're like, okay, fine. You're single. You're decided to put yourself first.
Yeah.
And as a woman of a particular age, you're just trying to figure it out. And then you meet this guy, and one thing I know for sure, I know this for certain, comedians always pull the baddest women. Because I always tell men, if you can make a woman laugh, you got her.
That is so true.
Is it true? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Beautiful women get hit on all the time. What makes a man stand out to her is, can you make me laugh?
Exactly.
And so I just want you to know, I understand your journey. I understand the connection between you and Michael. I understand that the curiosity that you had in your marriage is peaking now in this situation with Michael. And you're exploring your sexuality. I think that's fine. You're a grown woman. You should be able to do that. I think what unfortunately went wrong is Michael decided to not continue with the agreement that was set upon, like you said, using protection.
Yeah.
So when you found out that he did get another woman pregnant, where were you when that information came to you?
Oh my God. Like it's still so recent to me. It's like yesterday. I wish that information came to me privately from him, but unfortunately it did not happen in that fashion. I already signed the contract for Love and Hip Hop. We started filming already when that information came to me through a DM. At first I was...
Somebody DM'd you first?
Yes.
A random person?
It's a fake profile.
And what did it say?
Pretty much telling me the situation and giving me her phone number to FaceTime if I don't believe. But I was like, this must be fake because I get fake DMs saying stupid shit all the time. And I was calm. And then, that day I just completed a scene with him. I was still pregnant. I was like 8 months. And I didn't want to call him because I knew he was filming like another scene, but I wasn't sure what that scene was. So that made me curious. And I was like, are you filming with this chick? Because I'm getting this DM right now for whatever reasons. So I waited until he came home that night after filming, and I confronted him. And at first, just me asking that question and looking into his eyes, I knew it was real. I confirmed it in my heart, my soul. I felt it just by looking at him. He didn't even have to say a word. And he confessed to it. Oh, I was just so heartbroken. All I did was just bawl and cried on the floor. Like my heart just sank. It was a lot of emotions all at once. And I felt so alone. I felt like everybody knew around me except me. And I got played pretty much. So there were just so many questions in my mind during that moment. I was like, why would you go to the network and not come and talk to me? Why couldn't we have handled this privately? He didn't have anything to say. But, it was true. And I filmed the next day with that pain, that anger, just so much going through my mind. I had to film a scene where I had to be happy with my friends. And it was tough. It was a tough period of my life. And it's still tough now. I mean, like I said, it's very recent. I went I had to be induced into labor 2 weeks early because of all that was going on. It was
You were
just
stressed.
I was very stressed. Didn't eat, didn't take in fluids well. I was just hurt, beyond hurt. It was like the ultimate betrayal. I would never wish this upon another woman. Never. And, in some of the scenes, because it was so fresh, like I reacted in a way where I shouldn't have reacted. And I don't want people to think that, I don't want him being a father, but that was so painful at the moment. I couldn't help how I was feeling. I understand the children are very innocent. Both children are innocent, coming into this world. It's not their fault. It's not. And I want him to be there for the other child. I really do. But my whole concern is, how are we going to handle that without you having that relationship with the mother? I'm okay with you like having a co-parenting situation type relationship, but for it to go beyond that, because it was beyond that when you had this baby on me. You know what I mean? So it's just hard for me to trust and see how he would navigate through that, especially knowing who this woman is, because she's been around us, Carlos. She's been around us plenty of times. She's been to our gatherings. She's been to our parties. He hired her to twerk on his podcasts and serve drinks to the guests, you know. So she's been around. She knew our dynamics. She knew how our relationship was. She knows when I'm hurt, like when, you know, he does these things with other women. And she knows that it shouldn't be any type of relationship between him and her. She knows all that. And her narrative is, oh, I only met you once. I don't know you, but we talked plenty of times. So my whole thing is, look, I would never get upset at a woman for a situation like this. It's always the man's fault. If he's lying to her, if he's lying to me, you know, that's none of our fault. But in this situation, she has to take the blame too, because she knew what was going on. And she wasn't my friend. I felt her energy from the jump. I wasn't trying to be friends with her. His best friend, Chinese best friend, brought her around and introduced them. Way in the beginning, before, you know, when he had those Tuesdays and stuff like that.
Dancer?
Yes, I believe so. And I believe there's more to it, but, you know, I don't want to say too much, only because, you know, I'm not going to expose her like that.
Yeah. Did you confront her?
We did it in one of the scenes. It didn't go very well. Her mouth just kept on running. And I'm like, you know what? You owe me an apology. But she feels that I owe her an apology. I'm like, the audacity.
I'm sorry, that was me gagging.
Oh, believe me, I have the same, same feeling.
I mean, you're the fiance. Why does she feel like you owe her?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. And yeah, so that's what it was. And is this just a lot?
It's a lot. Michael Blackson did an Instagram post. You know, obviously you saw that he responded to it, where I don't put words in his mouth, but he intimated that, look, we got an open relationship, and you know, it is what it is, pretty much. What were your thoughts when you saw what he posted to let the world know what was going on?
I was just like, okay, first of all, it was almost Halloween. I was supposed to be having a good time at a friend's Halloween party. I was in Vegas. And with my son, of course. It was like a family Halloween party with my good friend Amber and her husband, Wanya Morris. They have a little girl, so his little girl was having like a little Halloween bash. And I was staying in their guest suite. All of a sudden, my phone was just blowing up early in the morning, like 7, 8 in the morning. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm getting these texts. They're like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I open up social media and I see the post. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Excuse my French. But I was like, I was confused because I'm just reading this. I'm like, is this an apology? Are you unveiling your son? Or are you unveiling the fact that you had a friend of 5 years? Which one is it?
They were friends for 5 years?
That's what he said on the post. Exactly. And so I was like, again, why would you put something out like this, and why was that even necessary? Like, I had no idea you guys were whatever, friends or doing whatever for fun. Like, this was all new to me. And, I knew, like, they were messing around before, and he would always tell me, oh, it's just pussy here and there. It's nothing, so I was thinking it was nothing. And when he posted that, I was like, what are you trying to say? This is not an apology that I feel like I have to say something because I'm not going to accept that. And it really like infuriated me because I'm thinking, I don't know what the goal of this post is. And furthermore, like, you're having my son, the other baby, and I felt like timing is everything. Like, why would you just, I don't know, I felt like you just threw it in my face, almost. So that's why I responded the way I did. Maybe it was an emotional reaction. I don't know how normal people are supposed to respond to that, but that's how I responded. And, I apologize if it came out the way it shouldn't have came out, but that's how I was feeling during the time.
And the age difference between your son and the baby that they had, they're, what is it, 2 months apart?
I would say it's 1.5 months.
They're 1.5 months apart.
Yeah.
So he got 2 women pregnant at the same time.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. It's unfortunate, but it happened. I'm trying my best to move past it. And a lot of people seem to think and criticize me for allowing for him to have this open type relationship, and then me sitting here crying about what has happened. They're like, well, I mean, things like that happen when you have an open relationship. Maybe somebody else, you might have a baby. But I'm thinking, well, I didn't give him permission to stick his in there raw. I never agreed to that. I never agreed to him going out of the scope of what.
Okay, I'm back, and I told y'all earlier I'm in the kitchen cooking, so I'm not gonna be able to share this whole interview with you guys. The interview was like an hour long. It was 57 minutes, so I'm not gonna be able to share all of it with you all. I think Carlos King did a great job of not judging her, of not being critical of her, because obviously she's hurting. Obviously, this situation is fresh. These events just recently happened. I think everyone needs to just take a chill pill and stop judging Rada. I know it's something that is in the news media and it makes for a great story. But we also have to realize that these are human beings and there are children involved. Because, like I was saying earlier, I went through a similar situation when I had my daughter. So we have to remember to be kind to one another. I think ultimately Rada is just going to have to make a decision about what she wants to do moving forward. And we have to give her grace and time to heal and make the decision and that she needs to do for her family. I mean, at the end of the day, she has to do what's best for her family. What I got out of the interview mostly was about her saying that she was allowing him to have these romantic rendezvous once a month, and also that she was allowing him to have threesomes. I feel like when you invite another woman into your bedroom, you're opening up a Pandora's box, and there is no off switch. Because I can recall there was a similar situation that was going on between Ray J and Princess Love on Love and Hip Hop. I think they were on, was it Love and Hip? They were on this show, Love and Hip Hop Miami, and they were on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood as well. I didn't watch that show as much because I didn't really like it. But there was a similar situation going on with them to where Princess was allowing Ray J to have threesomes. And they were inviting other women into their bedroom, and so we all know what happened with their relationship. So I don't think it's in the best interest of the woman, especially, to allow these men to do these things. But you just at the end of the day, like Carlos King was saying, you have to decide what you're going to accept as a woman in a relationship. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fast forward this video to the 5 minute mark, and I'll just let you all watch the last 5 minutes of the episode. And thank you all for watching.
I don't want you to.
Here's a way to save money. Head over to Kim's Toyota. Save thousands with 2.99% financing for 72 months on new Tundras, plus $1,000 subvention cash, or just $289 a month for new Camrys. And that ain't no bull.
There's great pride in doing projects yourself. It's about knowing you can depend on you. And that independence is why you went to True Value. But sometimes the wisdom of an expert associate is just what you need to get it across the finish line. True Value, your project, your way.
Zaxby's just dropped dry rubs, and they're not playing. They've got zesty lemon pepper, savory garlic parm, and spicy Nashville hot. Hey, other chicken chains, this is called.
I want you to think about the world judging you, whatever. Everyone's marriage relationships are different. But I always implore people, let's first rip the Band-Aid off and have this uncomfortable
I agree.
conversation that's going to hurt the both of us. Mm-hmm. But hopefully we can heal from it.
Right.
And you never know what beautiful surprise can come out of it.
Exactly. And I'm down with that. I'm down with having a real conversation, but I don't know what he's afraid of. I really don't. And he said it publicly, I'll choose my side, or I can't cut off my, or whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it time to time. And that's what I get criticized for. They're like, well, he's telling you to your face that he can't stop.
Yeah, which is fair. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But at the same time, behind closed doors, he comes and tells me, oh, that's my character. That's what I'm supposed to say. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's my shtick. I'm a comedian.
I'm a comedian.
That's a part of my act. Yeah.
Pretty much. So, of course, I believe him.
Yeah.
But the caveat to that is, yes, I do know that he's still messing around with other women.
Still today.
The monthly thing that we've agreed to when we, had gotten engaged to one another.
He's still doing that.
I don't know if he is now.
Okay.
But that's what the agreement was. But I knew that even though he's out there speaking publicly about, I can't commit to one woman, or I've always cheated on my girlfriends or whatever, But I guess my point is, he's coming to me saying, well, that's who I am. That's how I have to be. I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to be funny. I'm one of those walking clickbait type thing. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I'm going to believe him. But, I didn't think it would be to this extent.
Yeah. Of course not. Listen, I want you to know this. You're a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you.
You are a sweet soul. I feel your energy. And I want you to know that at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do, I want it to be your decision. And I want you to know your own worth. And I want you to know that if you decide to not continue, know that there is somebody that is existing for you. If that is something you decide not to do.
Mm-hmm.
If the relationship is something you want to continue pursuing, know that my advice to you would only be to, when a man shows you who you are, believe him.
Yeah.
And the moment you start to see signs again that history repeating itself, and if that's uncomfortable for you, then that's when you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put up with this? And the only person who knows that answer is you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
no, I appreciate that. And, that's actually something that I'm thinking through right now. I'm just taking it day by day because I feel like, there's just so much going on and it's so heavy. I don't want my emotions to overtake logic. Like I said, there's a baby involved now, and there's always someone for somebody at whatever period in life you are.
It's true.
There's always somebody out there that's meant for you. But my main priority is Michael Jr. And I don't have the emotional capacity for anybody right now.
Yeah.
I really don't. And so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to heal. And I believe once I'm healed, I can make that right decision. And that's my priority right now, is healing myself.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Listen, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for your honesty. I know that's not easy when you have the world looking at you and judging you, making all of these statements, but you are a strong woman and you have been so resilient in your response to something that I just know I couldn't imagine going through publicly. But I also want you to know too that you are speaking for a lot of women who are going through this, and the way you're handling here, just poised and so beautiful and just so honest and with integrity, you are showing women that, look, when this thing sort of happens, there's an alternative to how you cope with it. And that and what you're exemplifying to me is a woman of grace. And, Michael, you're not going to get that often. That's my thing. So, brother, chill. But, I want the best for you. Love and Hip Hop Miami is airing. Catch that. It's every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday on BET at 8 p.m.
Yes, 8/7 Central. So make sure you guys check her out. Where can they follow you?
Ms. Rada Darling on IG.
Yes.
And TikTok.
Yes.
But I'm on IG more.
IG more. All right. Thank you, Raindrops. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye,
thank you, lovey.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Be blessed.